Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my monthly review for this month's issue of the Walking Dead comic book series. This is for issue 187 now. It is called The Road Back. And spoiler warning, if you guys have not read this issue for the Walking Dead comic book series as of yet. So issue 187 already, we're just getting started for the new year, and we get a brand new issue of the Walking Dead to start things off, right? So getting things started off right, awesome to see. And it was a really good issue. This one came pretty fast, kind of came up on us without me even remembering. Thank you guys for the reminder yesterday, because I actually had forgotten that there was a new issue of the Walking Dead, just because of, all the craziness around the holidays and New Year's and everything. But there was, and so we'll recap it here and give our thoughts on what happens in the issue. So, issue 187, The Road Back, the issue is called. You can see on the cover you have Rick, who has his head held down, and you have Michonne, who's kind of standing there. And basically we get things continuing after last month's huge issue, 186, with that major character death. Like I said, spoiler warning, that we didn't see coming, or at least, you could have not telegraphed that, to see that Dwight would die, and it would be at the hands of Rick. Rick would kill Dwight. It's sort of something that's, but again, The Walking Dead is a series that it always reinvents itself. It always goes down different directions. Just when you think you've got things figured out, it goes another way, and it's not the type of series that you're going to be able to predict what's going to happen. And this is one where we saw some behavior out of Rick with him killing Dwight that was really, really strange. Afterwards, people kind of explaining it through to say, well, technically Dwight was not part of Rick's original group. Rick has had a lot of trouble with Dwight. Dwight doesn't really listen to him that well. Dwight is a savior. He kind of was back and forth between Rick and Negan and the saviors and Rick's group. He did originally kill Abraham in the comic book series version. So, is it that out of question to see Rick do something like this? Well, I guess not. And of course, it's to Pamela, the leader of the whole Commonwealth. So if that happens, if things don't go down right, and Dwight was to kill Pamela or something of the sort and assassinate her, it would surely be war between the communities, between Rick and the joint communities and the Commonwealth. And the Commonwealth has quite a bit in the way of forces, unless the good side like Mercer is able to overtake the Commonwealth and give Rick and the others a pass. So, going from there, this issue, awesome stuff. We get a lot of progression and all the different things that are happening with all the different communities, which I feel like is always kind of tricky with the comic book series, because he only has so much to work with. Once a month you get one issue, and there's only so much he can do in terms of each storyline when you have all the different characters in the different communities. How much can really be pressed forward for each one? But I think it's been pretty good to where the storylines have been going through concurrently, and it feels like, there's definitely a lot happening. It doesn't feel stagnant, even though he's telling a story in all these different places at the same time. So in this one, again, very much like that, a lot of kind of jumping around and seeing the different spots. We get to see the Commonwealth, of course. We get to see even Alexandria with Magna and Siddiq. We get to see the Hilltop with Carl continuing with his kind of mini story arc here with Lydia and Sophia. And Sophia's talking to the boy who joined the group, with the Whispers, or was just starting to kind of, with his family, get to learn about the Whispers and was thinking, what the hell is this? And then joins the Hilltop afterwards. So she is kind of striking up maybe a friendship with that, or maybe she's just trying to make Carl sort of jealous or something of the sort. Carl explains in this one to Lydia that he's not at all interested in Sophia in that way, and that what they have is a friendship from childhood, and he looks at her maybe more as a friend or as a sister, and not really so much as a possible romantic partner, right? So Lydia, of course, as we've seen, has maybe some low self-esteem or some, but anybody can get jealous, right? It can happen to absolutely anybody. We'll see what her behavior is after this, but she pretty much calls him out on it right away and accuses him of having a crush or liking Sophia before he leaves. Now, this could be a setup for some big stuff to happen pretty soon, because Carl's going to leave and going to see Rick at the Commonwealth and everything else, and I don't think from this issue Lydia's going with him. It doesn't look that way anyway. Lydia seems to forgive him, but I don't know necessarily if that's going to be okay. We have to remember she is a Whisperer from before, and she may could possibly get into it with Sophia here. I see these things forming, and I'm like, okay, has she really forgiven Carl, and is it really okay? I don't think so. And now that Carl's leaving, he might not be there if Lydia makes an attempt on Sophia and attacks her or something. So we could very soon see a one-on-one between the two of them, with Lydia possibly, whispers use knives, right? So, but Sophia is tough, so we'll have to see how the whole thing kind of plays out. My money's on Sophia if that's what happens. But we see just some more kind of forming in this issue that maybe the two of them could throw down. We could have a Shane Rick situation over Laurie, except for Carl in this case, between the girls, between Lydia and Sophia, fighting for Carl's love and affection, right? So something every guy's got to go through, right? If you have friends that are the opposite sex, sometimes if you have a significant other, they can get jealous. These things happen, and vice versa. Oh man, so I loved all the stuff with Carl in this one and the stuff at the Hilltop. They're sending out a group. Siddiq is heading out. Magna's asked him to go and check on the others. So there is kind of a group going towards the Commonwealth to check and see everything that's going on. So it is what it is. Not much else to say about that stuff right now. Magna's kind of in charge at Alexandria, which I guess is okay. Especially when you see the TV series, that kind of fits more easily. The comic series, I never got the impression that Magna would be like second in charge if Rick was gone, but okay, fine, whatever, she's there. And then of course Maggie at the Hilltop, Dante leaving, and the others, Jesus and Aaron. It just makes me think of the TV series a lot, leaving to see at the Commonwealth. And then we have Pamela throughout the issue. She's doing a speech with Rick. She's basically referring to him as her hero. Mercer's kind of like, Laura's like, we don't get to see her right there, but afterwards we get to see it. So she thanks Rick for saving her life, and he's basically the hero of the day. But the people, are the people really on board with that? I'm not sure. Rick sort of levels with everybody, which I think is really good. I get the feeling that when Pamela is speaking to her people, she's more of like a talking head politician, and when Rick speaks to the people, he more levels with them as one of their own. And personally, I think that works a lot better when you speak to people on the same level, and you don't try to kind of politically use the political fake rhetoric, right? Which I feel like Pamela, at least the sense of reading the issue, is you get that kind of thing, like, oh, they're not going to listen to her, I mean, like, they're not going to listen to what she has to say after what's happened and everything. They're going to be like, oh my God, what happened? So, but you have Rick there, and he's backing her, so that's probably, if anything, they probably respect that more and think, okay, fine. But then we have other events here starting to come through. So we have Mercer, who returns back. The princess is there, and she tells him she's leaving. She can sense shit is about to hit the fan, and she doesn't want to be there for everything that happens, so she decides to leave. And we get to see afterwards, like, Mercer's in a lot of danger. So you can understand, we get to hear some of her backstory and what happened to her when she was younger, and that really this whole her being happy all the time thing is kind of it's an act. It's a persona. It's a mask. It's an act for deep-seated underlying kind of feelings of maybe depression and just negativity. So she tries to she's kind of overcompensating for that with what she's doing. So that's fine. We get that, and I thought it was good for the princess because she comes across sometimes as annoying or as just kind of obnoxious. So to get to understand why she comes across that way, I think in this issue made her character a lot better, and to where you could read it through now and see her and everything and realize, like, okay, she's not so bad. That's the sense that I got from it, like, versus before when she just annoyed the crap out of me. It makes sense, though. And then, okay, so we have that. We have the both monsters part with Carl made me laugh as Lydia storms out, so that was funny. Laura confronts Mercer about the possibility of doing something about everything that's going on. And then we wrap up the issue with a great part where you have Mercer, who decides that it's time to talk to his troop in the locker room. But unfortunately, that damn locker room is pretty big, dude, and people can hear you. And you have Lance, who kind of storms in with some armed guards and hears him and basically, lets him know that the Governor Milton is not going to be happy about what he is planning on doing. So it puts us in an interesting situation to end off the issue. You have Mercer, who's supposed to be the lead for all of the military, basically, of the soldiers, the strongest of them all. And you have Lance coming in, who's another one of these kind of fake political type people, right? Lawyer-esque type of character. who doesn't get the hands dirty, right? And then you have a bunch of men surrounding Mercer that get the hands dirty all the time, so that the others get to keep their hands clean. The politicians and everything at the Commonwealth. We're talking Pamela, Lance, and the others that are in that upper elite. So what's going to happen here? Is Lance going to take Mercer hostage? Is this going to happen, or are the men that are there, are they going to take Mercer's side and fight back against Lance? Maybe kill him, or maybe take him hostage, and then plan a coup and try to take over the Commonwealth. That's the side I'm leaning more towards now, because I'm just thinking of things through the side of the men who have been fighting hard all the time to keep things going, and a level of respect that they've earned for Mercer that they have not necessarily earned for Lance. But then again, you have to mix in a little bit of fear in there too, that they've just heard about Dwight, and are they willing to stick their neck out and stand up for Mercer or not? And you guys can leave your comments below. Let me know what you think about this one. Whose side will the troop take? It certainly looks like, from first glance on the way it's delivered, that Lance has the upper hand and he's going to take Mercer into custody. But I would not be surprised if this is a setup for a twist, because the men, even the ones behind him, are going to know how tough Mercer is, and if Mercer stands his ground, are bullets going to need to be fired, or will he come quietly? Will his men, fight back and take Lance down, and then start things back the other way? Because based on what we've seen so far in these issues as we're going through, it's looking more and more all the time like the people as a whole have lost faith in their leadership completely, and so you get this type of situation where they're ready at a moment's notice to take action if they just can't take it anymore. So the thing that happened with Dwight could either motivate them further, or it could paralyze them into apathy, into a paralysis state, just where they can't do anything. They feel helpless to it because they've seen someone try to speak up and do something about it, and that person's been killed. So let me know what you guys think, how this way is going to go. I'm leaning towards the men will stand for Mercer, and they won't be cowards, and they'll stand up and take Lance down, and it'll be a twist in next issue 188. But let me know what you guys think. And in terms of the score for this issue, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I think it's a great issue, continuing along with the story and all the different ways that we're seeing it go through here. And I do love this kind of current direction for The Walking Dead, especially after last month's issue with Dwight, where it's the story again. The story is changing. It feels a little bit more like something like maybe a Game of Thrones, where you have kind of the different sides of who's in power and what's going to happen. I wonder if that isn't some of the inspiration for Kirkman with planning this whole thing out, is to have something like that. And I just tend to think like that little kid, that Pamela has, what's his name, is going to turn out to be like a Joffrey of The Walking Dead or something. I don't know. So, love the issue. Let me know what you guys think. Leave your comments below. And if you like the video, please thumb it up below. You can share, you can favorite. And if you're new and you want to subscribe, I would appreciate it, and you can do it. Subscribe at the bottom left. Thank all you guys for subscribing. And I'll see you soon for another Walking Dead video, probably within the next few days. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.